Absolutely not.
Yeah,
because
you don't know
you
me.
want to be real with people, and that being real built an entire business.
Yeah.
I still get referred all the time. I do market updates and I get referrals. I'd love to tell you guys that I'm doing a shit ton of things different than other agents. It's not that. It's just like I want to know what I'm talking about. So I actively strive to do so.
Yep.
But I can make anyone in this industry successful if they've got the drive.
Right.
And myself included. And that's how I did it. It's about the drive and then figuring out how do you tie in that niche.
This is From the Ground Up, where we talk to entrepreneurs in all different industries and give you the down and dirty about what makes them successful. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and check back every Monday as we drop new episodes.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being here today. We have Bret. Is it Weinstein or Weinstein?
No one cares.
Weinstein.
Whatever you want.
When we came in today, they're like, is it the Bret Weinstein? Weinstein. What is
No,
it?
it's Weinstein,
Okay.
but I have family members that go by Weinstein.
Okay, well, we're going to call
So,
you Weinstein.
Whatever
But
you want.
Is that straight German?
Probably. Yeah. I never learned German.
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Yes.
No, but I'm literally so happy to have you today because I'm just going to kind of get right into it. I have been going back and forth with this guy. I'm not going to name names. Who is like fact checking the market like a mofo. Okay. And like literally what you've said has been spot on with everything. And so I want to like just dive into some of that today, but
You're a very smart individual.
you're a very
Lower
smart individual.
expectations.
Let's
Lower
give-
expectations.
little bit of a backstory though. We've known you we used to work together prior to real estate.
We did.
12 years ago.
I think
All of
longer.
us. All three of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think it was longer than that,
Like
right?
15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, because
Bro.
I wasn't.
Look
I
at
was.
us all
I
alive
know.
and thriving.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Alive,
But-
but driving, sure.
So let's introduce him real quick. Okay, Bret, founder of Guide Real Estate. He shares insights from 13 years in the industry, leading a team of 90 agents in Colorado. Some of them we work with, which makes me very happy. You were featured on HGTV, recognized in major publications. You've also been on the news a
I
bunch
didn't
of
realize you were going to
times.
read this shit. I like you asked, and I just chat GPT'd it. So
I know Sarah was like, "Way to chat GPT."
I didn't want to. I don't like doing that. I don't like the
Because
accolade
you're
stuff.
a real one.
No,
You're
I
a
know
real
you
one.
are a real one, but that's why I'm reading it because you do have some credible shit behind you, and you are actually very smart. You really are.
Sure.
So-
let's see how it plays out today before we give too much credit.
No, we're talking about this shit today. We're talking about what is
perfect
happening.
day to do all this.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, but Bret used to be our manager at Jones International University. We were slanging. Were they accredited?
I don't know. It's for-profit education. It's what got me into real estate. It was so
I was gonna ask,
it was so
how
sketchy.
Does that transition go?
Yeah.
Because once you leave a place like that where you're selling people like a piece of paper for $60,000,
$60,000.
you reach a point where you're like,
yelling right
that
now.
feels super
Turn it down.
sketchy. Am I
sorry.
yelling? I'm so
No,
sorry.
I'm
she's
yelling.
really
I
loud.
yell.
Sorry.
I'm little, so I yell
Anyways.
to be heard.
No, my dad was like, try houses, and I wanted to do something tangible and real because
Right.
it felt so fake.
Because
so bad.
JIU
I
was
was
I never sold one degree.
Dude, she
I
was
sold
the
a lot.
worst.
I did not. Like,
She started in the registrar's office,
Dude, I
which
killed
you
it.
excelled.
I killed it.
You excelled.
But don't sit me in front of a computer and cold call people from Hodunk, Mississippi
Here's
to
the
sell
deal.
them on
At this point, the
college
building's been
education.
blown up. The college is shut down, so accredited or not, probably wasn't a good business model.
My sister got her degree from there, guys. I feel yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable.
I know.
Congratulations to
Do
her,
you
though.
remember? Do you remember the term "smilin' and dialin'"?
Yeah.
Dude, die. Like,
Kill
if I were to ever hear that again, do you make your agents like smile and dial? Do you pull that into like what you do now?
No.
Thank God.
Hey guys, get a mirror in front of your phone.
Yeah, dude.
Make sure that you're smiling. Look at yourself. No, screw that. Like, no, be real.
I literally had my iPod and I put my earphone in and I unplugged my cord and I would just dial and it wouldn't. I don't know if they'd answer. I was just listening to music for 8 hours a day.
Listen, it's spam.
paycheck.
It's great. It works out great.
But anyway, so owner of Guide Real Estate, founder, owner, whatever,
Sure.
have 90 agents. How the hell did you go from something like JIU and how did you get into real estate? Did you start by opening your own brokerage? Did you work into it? Tell us kind of how you got into it.
I came in 2012. There was like 17,000 homes on the market. I loved real estate when I got in. It was so great. At that point, everyone who was not really a full-time or really great at what they did got knocked out by the recession. And so when I got in, I just first off, when you get into real estate, it sucks.
Yeah.
It absolutely sucks. You're a lone wolf for like, you're by yourself. You get no real training and education.
Yep.
I hate the brokerage models because they teach you how to sell, but you don't want to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to sell yourself.
Right.
And like be knowledgeable.
Who'd you start with?
Coldwell Banker.
Coldwell Banker. Okay.
Yeah, but I was like, I was determined to do it and do it well. So I took a shit ton of classes. I'm going to cuss. I don't have a filter.
No, you don't.
We're not, I'm not adjusting.
And actually pull this a little closer.
Fuck off.
Okay.
Sorry.
I told you you'd like him, James. I told you would.
Oh boy. Is this better?
Oh my God, so much better.
I'm so glad.
Keep going.
Will do. It got weird. It got weird. No, I actively like really wanted to be smart about what I was doing. And so I took a shit ton of classes, and I think the phone skills did come into play a bit there.
For sure.
Because I took a ton of phone calls up front.
All sales.
Yeah. And so like, I don't have a filter. I'm never going to have a filter. And I was really blunt with people, and it just worked. And I was able to kind of come in and do well. And it was great.
From the get, like, how was your first year? Because a lot of agents that we have on here, they're like, I didn't sell a home my first year.
I think I sold 26 in my first year. I got the like DMAR Rookie of the Year thingy.
What?
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Did you just know a lot of people?
Yeah,
No, I knew no one. No one trusts me. God, fuck.
How did you sell? Okay, well, and it all depends on like what year you kind of came in and how good you are at what you do. But how the fuck did you sell 26 homes your first year?
Cold calling.
No, dude. I took floor calls. I did a shit ton of open houses. I reached out to everyone. None of my friends and family would use me because we had just come out of a recession. Everything was shitty with homes. So like, I went and dropped off 1,700 flyers 3 times in my neighborhood. And I think a lot of people have heard this, but like, I'm a ginger. I don't know if you know, but it was like June, July, and August. So like I had to like
you were burnt.
I had to go buy like Gold Bond powder. I had sweat stains on my back. But like one person replied to the thing, and like my team went, and they were like, "No, we don't want to sell. It's not going to make sense with us." And that person referred me someone else, and that was my first listing. So like it was, I just walked around the neighborhood. I did not know that it was 1,700 homes until I did it.
Yeah.
And it sucked. But like I did that. I did a shit ton of open houses. I made a rule that whenever I was like working or doing things, I would give myself a 2-hour break at most. Then I would go back to it. So like
you just
I grinded. I grinded.
I love that because
And
not
it
a lot of
worked.
people want to do that anymore. You know, we hear like door knocking, we hear open houses, but it's a
Or
lot
we
of work.
hear I posted something on Facebook.
I posted something on Facebook once. It was great. It was really cool.
Just got a bunch of
Not,
likes.
Yeah.
not
Very
really
hip.
a thing. So you grinded it out. What do you think helped most? Do you think it was like the flyers, the open houses?
I think. All right, so we can go into like why I started a brokerage, but I'll kind of tangent into that right now.
Yeah.
I think that anyone can be successful in real estate that has the right grind, the right mentality, and then like finds their niche, or can be a generalist. But what happens is a lot of people ended up getting trained poorly. They don't have the grind. They're not really like, handwritten notes are great. They are. But if you have terrible handwriting like I do, you're never going to do it. You're not going to be consistent. So you have to find things that you actually love, find success in.
funny. Yeah,
but we
we do
train
that.
people on so many different like sales things and all this shit. And in reality, it's about like you knowing what you're doing, you being able to grind and really stay consistent with how you do the business. If you have a filter, you probably should get rid of it. Not like how badly I do, but that's a me thing.
I hear that all the time. Everybody's like, Shay, calm down. And I'm like, fuck you.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you
because
don't know
you
me.
want to be real with people, and that being real built an entire business.
Yeah.
I still get referred all the time. I do market updates and I get referrals. I'd love to tell you guys that I'm doing a shit ton of things different than other agents. It's not that. It's just like I want to know what I'm talking about. So I actively strive to do so.
Yep.
But I can make anyone in this industry successful if they've got the drive. Like
Right.
and myself included. And that's how I did it. It's about the drive and then figuring out how do you tie in that niche. And for me, I'm a generalist, which means I don't have a specific area clientele. I'll do a $100,000 unit, fine. 5 million, great, whatever. But like I want to help whoever.
Will you do a little $200,000 condo?
I'm
said
driving up to
100,000.
Fort Collins later today because it's one of my past clients who's a zookeeper, and I said I'd hook him up. So I'm going to go drive up to Fort Collins to show a couple of inexpensive units, and I'm good with it.
Let's go, Brett.
So
Let's go.
I know, I love that. So then so you did the whole like sole real estate agent thing, and then at some point you're like, okay, I think I could do this as a broker because how many years did it take for you to get to that point?
Fuck if I know.
5? When
No,
did you
let's
open
see.
guide?
I went and it's been 5 years. So it was BSW Real Estate. Then we transitioned
remember
it to
that.
Guide.
Yep.
Because I'm not a pretentious prick who wanted everyone to say like, hey, what does that stand for? It's Bret Samuel Weinstein. Like it's just, like it's just a prickish thing. So like I didn't want to have it be my initials, and more power to the people that are willing to do that. That's great. I didn't want to do that. But I hired an assistant when I was at Madison and Company. I'll shout out Justin Knoll, who helped me like figure all that stuff out. Yeah, he's my homie.
Are you part of Getting Contract now?
I am.
Okay, perfect.
I'm getting in contract.
Getting in with Getting Contract. Okay.
But yeah, I hired an assistant, and then it just kind of grew and brought on a few more people, and then it became a team of I think 13, and ended up breaking off and starting my own thing. And it just has been kind of organic.
That's awesome. Like, how did you, what did you do differently or sell differently for real estate agents to come to you? Because it's hard, it's hard to recruit like lenders, it's hard to recruit agents, and it's hard to get them to leave where they're at. Like, what did you offer differently?
Well, to the detriment of a lot of the leadership team and people around, I don't really sell Guide real estate. I think the biggest thing is like, and I don't want to shit on other brokerages. I just want to make sure that anyone who comes over, I actually care about. I want them to be successful. I'll help them however I can. And it needs to be that way from every single person in the leadership team down to the newest mentee. Is like, we want people to be able to brand themselves. We want them to find their own niche. We want to coach them in an appropriate way. I don't care. I'm not going to, like, we send out the generic like emails and stuff like that, but I don't really stress on that. So it's mostly been word of mouth, and seemingly it's working. So,
and you educate, because you invited us to one of your team meetings to, I don't even know what the fuck we spoke on, but something.
Probably rates.
Probably something dumb.
Maybe.
Or like NAV cash or something. But you had a lot of people in there, and you had food, which is great. But you're funny and you're fun, but then you break it down and you actually educate, and people were like wanting to listen. Because when we get invited places, I'm just like, oh my God, it's the same thing. But what you were saying like actually seriously intrigued me. And that's why, again, going back to like sending all your videos to this one person that's like trying to say all these things about the market. And I'm like, this guy actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. And like, you've literally, what you've been saying, because I follow you, the past year and a half has happened pretty freaking accurately.
I don't know what I did yesterday, so I can't speak to that.
What?
Did you do a video yesterday? I might have missed it.
Maybe a couple days ago, but I don't
It
I don't
was
know.
like 2-3 days ago. So
Oh, I know what you
this is what I want to know. Let's just get right into this, and then we can get into other shit.
Whatever you want.
Okay, so here's what I keep getting is that outside of Colorado, home prices are falling like crazy. And now he's telling me, home prices in Colorado are to follow, and they are going to fall. He was saying up to like 40% from where they're at now.
That's awesome, dude. I hope so.
I know, but okay. I want to know what your thoughts are on that, and then just educate with the knowledge that you know. Please.
Sure, he's wrong. Done. What else do you want to know?
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
But why? But I want to know why.
10,724 homes was the active inventory at the end of last month. It's the highest amount of active inventory that we've had since 2013. We've had 3 months now of the 10,000 homes, and let's take away all the numbers and all the other stuff. Supply versus demand.
Right.
Demand has stagnated because interest rates were high. Supply increased. It was kind of surprising to see how much it increased. However, when we have less demand and more supply, prices should go down, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure is that correct? Can we fact check that? But it's supply and demand, that's how it works.
Come on, James.
Economics
Fact
101.
check.
Yeah, can we just fact check that? But I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So here's the thing though, prices haven't dropped. They were up 2.3% from last year. We were down 0.34, 0.36 from last month. But when we have that many homes and this stagnated of demand, prices should drop. They didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're heading towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Days on market has gone up incredibly.
Yeah.
It turns out, and this also we may need to fact check, but people don't typically want to sell their homes over Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I know. I was surprised to find that out too.
Hold on to your dollars right now,
Holy
everybody in the
shit.
entrance. Like, you think it's bad now, James? Like, hold on to your dollars now.
That's
Tell
it.
you
But
what.
like, so we're coming up to this period where there's going to be a ton less listings.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
There's also a lot of listings that have stagnated. When we talk about 10,724 homes, that's a lot of homes that are out there. And so if people aren't jumping on those right now, they'll either decrease in price, which is what the argument would be. However, that's not showing up in the stats, or they'll expire and they'll try again later. So now we have less inventory. We have a lot of people expiring. So if we get down to 7,000 or 6,000 homes, which I think is pretty realistic, but we'll see how it plays out. Now
You said
it's
6,000 or 7,000?
6,000 to 7,000 homes. I think by end of the year.
In the
Denver Metro.
Denver Metro.
but in the holiday time.
Yeah,
frame, you're
by
thinking?
January 1st. And
Okay.
January will probably, all the way till February 1st, is a decrease in inventory every single year.
Because it's seasonal.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, this isn't like a new thing. That's
Right.
the Thanksgiving and
Yeah.
Christmas argument.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. So now we throw in that interest rates are going to decrease. So we'll see what the Fed does. You think a half point. I think they're going to be conservative and do a quarter point. But if they do, rates will bounce up a little bit, then it'll even out. Whatever. It doesn't matter. We're heading into a period where supply is going to go down and demand is going to go up. Now, we're not going to see that a ton. We are for the next month. But once we get closer to Thanksgiving, same conversation. Not as many people want to buy, but there is going to be more demand. So when we head into a new market in 2025, more demand, less supply.
Yep.
In a shocking turn of events, prices are likely to go up.
Just like 2021, 2022.
Yeah. However, we're one of and here's the argument that someone could make is that we're one of the 5 most expensive markets.
Yes,
Okay.
that's true.
And it's a very valid argument. But we have a lot of people that are coming in from out of state. We have a lot of people that have a shit ton of equity that are going to be able to sell and buy.
Yep.
The golden handcuffs come off at let's call it 4.5%.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So that can continue to move the market forward. And if we get down to 5,000 homes, I'd expect a 6 to 8% increase in equity as we hit the first 3 to 4 months of the year.
Okay.
How we would lose 40% would be a huge recession, which certainly could happen. Doesn't look like it right now, but it absolutely could. I could be wrong on all of this. Or something really dramatic. But how you get prices to go down is a shit ton of demand,
Right.
or a shit ton of supply and no demand.
Okay. Yep.
But
Right. That's not going to happen.
we have a ton of people that are sitting on the sidelines. The dumbest thing that I've heard from a lot of people, and if people watching said this, I'm just kidding. But a lot of people are like, well, I'm just waiting for the interest rates to go down.
Yes.
Hey, here's a
Let's talk
surprise.
about that.
So is everyone else.
Yeah, let's fucking talk about
So when
that.
we say that I'm waiting, now we have a ton of demand as interest rates go down
Yep.
and less supply.
Yep.
and now you're going to
Yep.
overbid.
Yep.
You're gonna.
That's what we tell everybody, you know, like you could do what you want, buy when you're ready, buy when what's comfortable for you, but this is how we can educate you. Right now, you're still getting seller concessions. You could still get in under list. Everybody else is waiting for the rates to go down. So when that happens, the market is going to flood. There's going to be overbidding. There's going to be appraisal gap coverage again. You know, it's just educating, but they're like, no, you know what, I'm going to wait. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, statistically, September 7th or 27th to October 4th is the best time to be a buyer. However, it's been 4 years since we've had an interest rate reduction. So now on today, the 18th, we very well could see a lot more buyers coming in, which would skew that. But it technically is the best time because it's the most inventory, the least amount of demand. However, that could switch today.
Yeah.
Right. So
what are your
go
thoughts?
ahead.
What are your thoughts on media and real estate? Because some things I see in the media, I just want to like throw my cup of water at the TV.
It's media and real estate. So I do a ton of media stuff.
Yes, you do.
And I get quoted however they want to write the story.
Right.
So I try and I like to do like TV and live stuff like this because you actually hear what I'm saying as opposed to them being like, well, he said that prices are going to go up,
it a
but that
different
doesn't
way.
mean that prices are going to go up.
Right.
But like media, it's definitely, they're there to get subscriptions. So they're not going to say, hey, everything is really great. However, when this market turns, they're going to talk about how crazy the market is because that's going to be very easy to read. But right now it's that everything's going to fall apart. The other thing with Colorado, we have such a huge shortage of inventory. So and this is the other argument, but since 2001, we had the construction defect clause. Most major metropolitan cities were at like 10, 15% of high density. We were at 3 to 6%, which means we didn't build condos. We built a lot of apartments, but there's not a lot of places for people to buy and live.
Right.
Because we have such a shortage of inventory, it really does set us up for that lesser supply. Our new construction isn't going to keep up. We're not going to build enough. We're a very unique place where 300 sunny days, a lot of people want to move here. It just, you can make the argument in markets that have a lot of inventory or that they built appropriately that, yeah, prices are going to drop. We fucked up. We didn't do that. So this is why when we like COVID and all this stuff, why Colorado exploded so much. We have no inventory. Like 10,000 homes is great for us right now. However, if it drops to 5,000, we have 3 million people here. So that's 5,000 active homes for 3 million people in the Denver metro area.
Look how fucking smart you are. I just look
Yeah,
at
I
this.
know.
You are a nerd, man.
Oh no, I
'cause
just
you are,
Wikipedia
like,
and all this. It
but
may be
you like
false.
are literally you have you have the stats. Like, you know what you're talking about.
And
I
that's
mean,
probably
maybe.
why, I mean, so we're working with a condo project downtown that is currently being built. And that's probably, it's a Canadian company that came in and started the project. But they probably realized that too in Denver, that we've got no condos down there. So they're building 462
units.
Yeah.
which is going to be one of the biggest projects that's been down there in years, I would think.
That's amazing. Are they calling it the Maple?
No, it's the Upton Residences.
Oh, or like A? Maple A?
Maybe
Maple syrup?
they're Canadian.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I was like, okay. I get what you're talking about.
It played. People got it. You didn't. It's
I
fine.
did it right over my head.
And that's the other piece, is that we still are having the ramifications from COVID in high density areas where people didn't want to live in a high density area. So single family home, which we don't have a lot of, is where people really spend their money. And so that even just that will drive up our market.
Yeah.
God, man. Okay. So today, and just let me know your thoughts on this, because we did a survey yesterday of like, what do you think the feds are going to cut rates? A quarter, like 0.25, 0.50, or 0.75, or is it already built into the rate?
It's already built in the rate.
It's already built into the rate.
For the last 3-4 weeks, we dropped down to the high fives.
Yep. So then,
But what if they decide to cut an extra quarter?
hang
Which
tight.
is my
Hang
Yeah.
tight.
I hope.
Today, when we're talking about this today, we just got like, when I opened my shit, we got an 11 basis point hit today for the worse.
Well, let's see.
So-
they haven't rolled it out yet. So the conversation point becomes, if it's 0.25, that's already baked in, which means that that's to the expectation. So rates will go up a little bit, and then it'll even out. If it's 0.5, the expectation would be rates will drop and drop. I don't know, not a ton, but they'll drop.
probably an eighth or
Yeah,
a quarter.
but like either way, we're still going to be sitting around the sixes, low 6, high 5.
Yep.
Right.
If it goes down a half a point, I don't know that the September rate reduction is going to be the biggest one. I think November, December is a much more likelihood to have a higher rate reduction just based on this. This is the first one. The Fed's going to want to see what it does, how it plays out. I do think they'll be conservative, so rates are going to go up. However, it was, I don't know, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, the Fed decided instead of doing a rate raise to keep rates steady. And then next week, we saw a 13% increase in loan applications, which means that people don't understand that the rates already lowered. Today, what that would imply is that if they do a quarter point, let's say it's 6 to 7% increase in loan applications. If they do a half point, it might be closer to 15%. But that's a ton of demand that's going to come through because people don't realize our rate's already dropped. It's already baked in.
It's in. It is. That's what we've been trying to tell people. Like, no, it's the 17th and the 18th, and we're like, guys, it's in there. It's in there.
There's
already.
a lot of really easy charts to look at.
Thank you. So you think that in Q4 they're gonna do another little interest rate drop as well?
I guarantee they will, unless something really sporadic happens. But I think that we'll see.
Like the election doesn't.
I don't think the election.
I don't think it has.
All right, so why people aren't
spit your knowledge. Like,
why
I
people
need
aren't buying and
this.
selling as much right now is because we're in a fear-based market currently.
100%.
And
100%.
even though they may drop rates a quarter, a half a point, it's still a fear-based market. Jobs reports aren't great. People aren't necessarily feeling all the relief. The fucked up thing is the election's irrelevant. In 6 months, if rates continue to go down, everyone's going to feel dramatically better. But right now, heading into the end of this year, I think a lot of people are a lot tighter on their purse strings because it sucks.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily the election, but I think we'll drop 0.75 to 1 percentage point by the end of this year.
Let's go. I pray you're right.
I am.
really do.
Don't worry, I am.
Okay,
This has
thank
nothing
you.
to do with the election, but I want to hear your thoughts on this. And I'm sure you've seen it in the media that a bigger company by Blackstone, one of the two, is going to own 98% of homes in America by like 2028 or something.
God, I'm rooting for him.
Why?
No, it's not.
That's what I'm like, but they're putting that
It's-
out there like it's a fear-based media when it comes to real estate and in some things, right? But I have so many people sending me this specific article on it. It must have came out like a day or two ago.
If they get to 3 to 5%, I would be impressed.
I was like, how?
That's not
How
how
are
it
they gonna-
works.
right.
It's the same thing as when we had the iBuyers and all these flippers and all these cash. It doesn't get past 25 to 30% with everything. The majority of the market's still going to own their homes because it's the greatest single asset that you can own.
Right.
Aside from gold. That shit's good.
So everyone who
That's
sent
legit.
that to me, that's next by.
Yeah, there's not going to be, that is a fear-based.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if they did that, they would have to overspend so much that you're one market correction away from going bankrupt.
Okay, now I got to ask you this because I just got to shoot it at you. When do you predict that we'll be back to that 4.5? We should have never gone to the 2s or the 3s. That was fucking
No,
retarded.
4.5. I mean, it's so. If we get to the low 5s by the end of next year, it would be great. Realistically, we don't want to get to 4.5 within the next year, because what that would entail is that like they're really having to kickstart this market. We want to have, you know, we want to have a soft landing. I don't know that it's going to happen, but we really want to have the soft landing. So hopefully we're at like 5.5, 5.25, and then we head into the next year and things kind of level out. And then
slowly.
But is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. If we keep having jobs reports that have looked the way that they have, then there's a point there where the Fed's going to have to do more dramatic rate cuts, which great for credit cards, great for mortgages, great for a lot of things, but
HELOCs.
Yeah, HELOCs. I
mean, I'm really waiting for that.
Come on,
to go down.
Come down, baby.
But it's that piece though, is that like it's not a good thing to have to do these rate corrections, and it wasn't a great thing to have to raise the rates. So hopefully it'll be a little bit slower, but like that 0.75 to 1%. I don't know that we're going to see a huge bounce back of the job market, of everything as we head toward the end of this year with the election, with everything that's going on.
What do you do to educate yourself? Who do you watch? Like, what podcast do you listen to? Do you follow certain articles? Like, what are you doing to educate yourself, then to educate your agents as well?
Absolutely. I just look at myself in the mirror and talk and just bullshit the way through it. No, I mean, I do.
Fake it till you make
Fake
it. Dude, that's been my motto my whole
Goddamn
life.
right. Just stare at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, you're so red every single time. And then that's how I get all my ideas. It's effective in the morning. No, I like Wall Street Journal, Business Insider. I read a shit ton of news stories, articles. The Wall
Do you do
Street.
MBS Highway?
Yeah. I do as many as I can. My morning, I wake up and I read a bunch of articles because I have all of like the daily emails and then
Such
the end
a
of the day.
nerd.
Yeah, but it makes it so I have shit to talk about.
You do, but you're educated. Okay, so and then how do you decipher like what's bullshit and what you think is going to like? Because there's things that are either way, and you're like, okay, I need to go teach 90 agents today of what I think is going to be happening. How do you decipher what do you think is accurate and what do you think is bullshit?
Supply and demand is pretty much a blanket statement.
Yeah.
Can we see if demand's going to increase? Can we see if supply is going to decrease? Vice versa. I mean, it's all within context, and this is why people think the market's going to collapse, that we're in a bubble, all that stuff. It's within context. How do we truly lose a ton of value right now? Well, you get a ton of inventory, and no one wants to buy. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So like, there's things that could create some like a brief bridge where we'd lose some equity, but I don't think that they're substantial. But it is really about reading. And then I do a class called Shift Happens because the market's always shifting. But I sit down and we mastermind through it, and we do it, once or twice a month with whoever wants to show up, and we
Even from different brokerages?
Couldn't give two shits.
Really?
Yeah, don't care. But like it's a conversation point, and so like the goal there is that everyone should always have an elevator speech of what's actually going on within the market, which means you can read a shit ton of articles and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean that all of them are correct, and you need to be able to see like, what does this actually mean? And let's use the DMAR stats, right?
Yeah.
They can be skewed. Everyone can have an opinion, and it's really hard to understand them when you look at them once, and people stop after the first time, or they wait to hear someone's market video or whatever it is. Once you look at them 6 times, 20 times, 5 years, it becomes really easy to start to identify patterns, what's happening, how is it happening, what does it look like, and then apply it. And so like those pieces, it's about consistency with all of these. So like for me, nerding out, sure, we can call it nerding out, and I am a huge nerd. I got sci-fi fantasy on my Audible. I'm crushing that shit. But when you start to read it all, it paints a much more thorough picture. Whereas a lot of people like, oh, I didn't read the newspaper for the last week, and oh, there's this scary article. I read it now. That's what I think.
Exactly.
Right.
But when you do it every single day, and you have just a national and a local perspective, it makes it a lot easier to get an understanding. And so it's not that hard to understand all these pieces, but it does take like time and consistency. You actually have to like do it because you cannot see patterns. You can't figure shit out from one article.
That's what it is. It's a pattern too. And what's been consistent and what's been statistical.
Yep.
And so like, thank God you do that. Like we try, but I know that we could put so much more effort into educating ourselves. I want to go to
I read MBS Highway probably every other day.
Yeah.
Not every day, but every other day.
Yeah.
But it's enough, right? Like it's just getting used to it and then seeing the patterns. At the end of this year, we know that inventory is going to drop off. Okay. It's going to happen, period. Now we add that rates are going to drop, which increases demand. So now I know that inventory was going to drop off either way, and in all likelihood, we're going to see a pickup of demand, which means that there's going to be less inventory than we would have normally had. So like, it's not like this is so crazy. It's just taking two pieces and putting them together like a puzzle.
We've had our assistant has had her house on the market since God, what?
I was just gonna bring that
Were
up.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if she's ready to sell it, I'm here.
She's yes. Well, so get this. So she's had it on the market since I think June or July. And it's like 1.1 in Stapleton, or what do you call it? What do you
Central
call
Park
it?
now, because we're not racist anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. That's what I'm here for.
It's in Central Park.
Yep.
It's going for 1.1. It's a beautiful home, but it's on a quarter lot. Anyways, they're not keen in dropping the price right now, and it's literally just been sitting. And so we're like, hey, take it off for the 30 days, right? Because they don't. I mean, they want to sell it, but it's not like needed. And then we're like, relist because it's been on for so long. So maybe we're saying that's at the wrong time. What would be your advice to her of what she should do with that home?
Well, I don't want to screw over any realtor, so let's start there.
That's
Okay.
totally fine. We're not naming names.
That's fine. I'm not going to ask for names. So,
Right.
but what I would want to do is probably expire it and have a new person listed tomorrow. That's it. And if it's the other
Doesn't
realtor,
it need to expire for 30 days?
not if it's from a different company, it can be a new listing the next day.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Did not know that.
So you
either.
don't need to do the 30 days because
Brett,
the
that's
last
good to
thing
know.
that you would want to do is sit 30 days right now. What's today? The 18th?
Yep.
My birthday is the 20th, and I don't even know. Like,
Happy birthday on the 20th.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're
I
welcome.
keep forgetting when it is. Someone's like, oh, what are you doing in 2 days? I was like, I don't know. Fuck if I know. This year has gone by so quick.
It's
Yeah.
so
But-
like I literally looked at her the other day and I was like, "Do you know it's almost October?"
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's
almost October.
fucking nuts.
Ridiculous.
But that's the piece is you want to expire it because the last thing that you want to do is withdraw or expire it for 30 days because that takes us to October 18th. As soon as we hit October 18th, October 20th, we're hitting Halloween, and 30 days from that, if it was a traditional closing, would be Thanksgiving. So you really have this kind of 3 to 4 week timeline where we could see a big uptick in buyers, a lot of the inventory going away, and you don't want to miss that timeline. And the last thing that you want to do is have that house sit again through November,
Exactly.
December, because you're going to be in all likelihood the same spot. So either you pull it off
advice.
and relist in February, or you shift the listing agent, have whatever the agent is, sign a commission agreement with somebody and get them paid too. But like, that's probably the best bet right now.
You're smart,
Yeah.
man. You're so
I'm
smart.
not. Stop saying that shit. Here, dude, listen. None of,
To me, like, I feel better just talking to you.
It's
I
because
honestly
he's
do.
the way that you speak and the way that you're like so direct
Confident.
and confident, like
Confident.
it
yeah, but
The
let's
energy,
not.
we get the energy,
I don't
yeah.
want to. I don't want to be smart because like that gives high expectations. What I want is that this stuff. So because I've been able to do this at a high level for a lot of years, it really just becomes okay. What's the best strategy right now? So for all of our listings that are coming up, we're looking at. I have a specific time that I list. I want to see analytics. I want to I have all these things that I put in place because then you can put yourself into the best position
You're a
and have a
leader.
better sense.
You're a true leader.
Well,
I know you don't like to say that or say that I'm smarter, this or that, but you lead people, and people really do rely on you for what you have to say.
But I very much appreciate that, but like it's all data. Like it's just you want to look at the data and figure that out because the worst thing that we do as real estate agents is that we get emotionally involved.
yeah.
You have
Which is
to.
hard.
It's
It's
so
hard
hard
not
not
to.
to.
Yeah.
It's I have transactions that are really
Right.
that suck, and like
Yeah.
it's hard not to. But like your job is to be the non-emotional person that helps to advise accurately of like for your buyers or for the sellers.
Right.
And sometimes we don't do that. So when we really try and hone in on data as opposed to like, well, I don't know, maybe we should just drop it 10K. Why would you drop a price 10K?
Right.
How does that make sense? Do you
Yeah.
have data to back that up? Are other people selling when they drop a 10K, or do you need to do a large scale price drop? Or is the price fucking irrelevant and it's just because it's been on the market and people suck?
Yeah.
People are super picky right now. So sometimes just seeing it as a new listing makes a bigger difference.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
smart. So,
It-
go ahead.
It is though. I think I've learned. So I've been in it for 12 years. I think I got in it right about when you got into it, and in those first probably I would say 4 to 5 years, I was super emotional about every client, right? Which I still am. Like
Right.
I still am, but
I'm
I've gotten
taking
to the
that from
point. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, this is the facts. This is what it is. And like when I have to help coach some of the LOs that work with me on tough conversations, they just look at me. They're like, "You said that so well," and I'm like, "You just got to spit the facts. Like, take your emotions out of it, right? And
Be empathetic. You still have to be empathetic.
You
Just
do.
because you say it's data doesn't mean you're a fucking robot. You're still
I
a
cry.
person.
I cry all the time when I talk to people. I have this person right now who's pregnant and she just lost her home, and I cried. I'm a crier.
That's fine. I
So
fetal
sad.
position.
And then she's like, after I'm done crying, she's she's like, okay, well, what the fuck are you gonna do about it now?
That's
and I'm
it.
like, all right, dude, we'll figure it out.
She
Solution
didn't lose her home
mindset.
because of us.
No,
We're helping. We're
we
saving
saved
it.
the deal.
We're
We saved the
saving
deal.
it.
But
Thank God.
well, so I told a bunch of people that you were going to be on yesterday, and I know that you're probably sick of like spinning analytics. There's 2 more things I want to get with you today, but one of them,
Super.
they needed to know your thoughts on the NAR settlement. And okay, that's so broad. That is so broad. But a lot of people look up to you and with what you have to say. And if they're not selling themselves, just if you have 10 minutes to spit on the NAR settlement about what agents can do to be better is the exact question. How do they navigate that?
The fuck? What's the NAR settlement?
Get the fuck out of here.
What is it? No, seriously, can you give me a break? Oh, no. All right. So the NAR settlement, during this timeline, we have a ton of inventory. People have to still offer a compensation package for buyer's agents. So for the most part, things haven't really changed. If this was a different market, it would be substantially different. More often than not, we're not going to see buyers having to pay because they're going to get offered some sort of compensation. List side, I'm seeing people get more on the list side and buyer agents get less. But overall, we're still seeing an average between 2.5 and 2.8% on the buyer's agent. Again, no standard. This is live, blah, 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 blah. The biggest thing that people need to do is you can certainly create this tiered structure of what your offerings and services are. But if you're really good at what you do and you have a lot of value, you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
And you have to be consistent with it. But the coaching piece, like I can coach on a 1-to-1, but it's hard to do like a broad scale coaching because this is what I coached 150 people. So like it's in teams and all this shit. So like when I do that, it's focused on how are they running their business and what's going to be the most effective thing for them. So there is so many solutions to this, but it's at the end of the day, it's about your clients and how to best serve them. But you're going to get rewarded if you're good at this shit.
Yeah.
And
I've heard that over and over and over again too.
But it's not a cop out answer in reality. Like it's not.
No,
And for I'm in a position where I can tell my buyers like, hey, listen, if I can't negotiate it, that's on me. I'm not going to charge you. But that's not something that anyone wants me to say out loud. But like, because I'm a volume agent, because I get a lot of referrals, I want to take care of them and I want to get more referrals. And that's how I built a business. So but I haven't had to, no buyers have paid me. I've had a decent amount of closings so far since it happened.
Okay.
But I haven't had to get a buyer to pay me, and like we've negotiated effectively. And that may change as we get to a much more competitive market.
Right.
Okay.
But that's where you really want the coaching is how to do that in a competitive market.
Right. When you have like 18 million offers on one
That's
house.
correct.
Do you think anything in the NAR settlement will change, or do you think this will stick and stay as it is?
I think that we could talk about the election and the Department of Justice and what color and all that kind of stuff.
The DOJ is already getting so many.
Yeah, red or blue and all those pieces. So I think that there's a conversation point to be had there, but I think it's speculative right now. I'm not reading the polls of who's going to win and who's not. I see them all the time, but it's always within a plus 17% variance, so fuck it.
So you're just living in the now.
I'm living in the now, but what we really need to be prepped for isn't just today, but it's in moving forward. And the value proposition, if you can't express your value proposition, I mean, there's really like 3 things that we do, right? Real estate agents, you open doors, you should know how to write a fucking contract.
You would be surprised. You would guess.
I'm not surprised. Actually, I'm devastated.
Coach some people on writing contracts.
You should send them to me. I will happily coach them. But
Fair.
no, but like you have to write a contract. And the third thing is you should actually understand what's happening within the market. Like if you can't answer, how did we get here? What the fuck has happened? So that Colorado, the national market, how did we get here? What's happening right now? The NAR settlement, rates are going down. And how does that impact the person that you're working with? If you can answer all 3 of those, 9 times out of 10, you're still going to get a commission that you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you can't answer those, if you don't understand construction defects, the lack of inventory, if you don't understand national trends, seasonal trends, if you don't understand how the rate, if it's 0.25, rates are going to go up
Right.
today.
Right.
So you had 3-4 weeks of great rates and now it's going to go up a little bit. It'll settle back down, but you need to know that, and you need to know how that impacts buyer, seller, investor, renter, whoever the hell it is. So if it's a buyer, realistically, they should have bought a little bit ago, but they have 1 more month to really get after it. If it's a seller, you should not sell your house unless you have guaranteed based on data that your house is going to sell at a premium. If you could avoid, it's the people that have to sell that sell during November and December.
Yeah.
If you're an investor, there could be quite a few deals because people have to sell. But if we see a huge increase in demand, investors are going to be screwed. Renters are already screwed, and they're probably going to keep being screwed in Colorado in particular. But like nationally, it's not as bad. But you have to be able to communicate that effectively. And if you can't have that conversation, that's the basis for the commission, the compensation, all these pieces. Like, hey,
That's why you're the
why
expert.
should you list right now with me?
Yeah.
And my conversation with every listing is, if you want to list, you have two options. We list today. Like we'll go through our process, we'll stage, we'll do all the shit, but we're doing it right now. Otherwise, I want you to wait till 2025. So we've got 6-7 listings that are good. We pushed off till 2025 because I want less inventory.
Right.
And I don't want to fall into October, November, December. So, but like, it's being able to say that bluntly is like, I'm not here for the fucking check. I'm here to make you money.
Yeah. No, you're doing your clients a service.
And that's the same thing
You
with
really
buyers.
are.
If there's not a shit ton of demand, let's take advantage. I'm going to get you a shit ton off because it's a game at the end of the day and I want to win. Like, let's go.
What if the market turns crazy, you know, and there's overbidding on homes and they just want to offer you 1%? How would you negotiate away from that? But it's your clients really want that house.
I'll get them the house.
They'll get in the house.
I bet I'll get more than 1%, but I'll get them the house.
So you do your shit.
Yeah, you're damn right.
You know what you
I do. I do. Well, no, but it's because it's...
So you don't just cower and say, "Oh my God, they want the house." Okay, fine, I'll just fucking take it.
No.
The 1%.
No, I'm still going to negotiate and do, like...
What if there's another buyer who will happily take the 1% and...
Good on them. Here's something fun. And it's also just a terrible statement for real estate. So don't, like...
We're
sorry.
not quoting.
Sorry.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
He's smart, huh?
No, but like here, the bullshit is that I've gotten plenty of people under contract based on my relationships with other agents.
Yeah, that's a thing.
They know that I'm going to get it to closing. They know that I'm going to be fair with all the pieces, that I'm going to coach my clients effectively. So you can take your 1%, that buyer, and you can work with them, or you can pay me 2% or 2.5%, but you'll actually close.
Right.
Yeah.
So my job is to make sure that I'm building relationships with as many people as possible. And should I get a deal because I have a relationship with the other person? Fuck no. Absolutely not. It should always be based on the numbers. But in reality,
Yeah.
you see a shitty written contract and then you see mine. And I'm like, hey, here's what I want you to hook it up a little bit because I want to make sure that we get to closing. Let's figure that piece out.
Exactly.
But I'm going to convince or talk through that and do it effectively.
Exactly.
So I've won in, I don't know, there was like 40 offers and we were definitely not the highest. We got the house. We just had one that we were $130,000 less than the highest offer and my clients got the house.
Exactly. It's just the same on our side too as lenders, you know, like
Your
There's
words.
some
We're not
econ-
going to be the lowest rate. All
I
the
know,
time.
but
No,
then,
but it's
like,
also
two-
underwriting and your communication. And
We've had
yeah.
2 deals in the last month that another lender couldn't get done in time. We're like, we fucking told you. Like,
Right.
we told you.
Yep.
We
But that's
just don't
but
want to listen.
if people are trained really effectively,
Yeah.
and if they're genuine and they're having fun and it's a good culture and all those pieces, it's really easy to go and do real estate. Real estate.
Rural site. So when clients come to you and they want to work solely with Bret, do you ever have to like pass it down to your team? Or
All the time. Yeah, of course.
You do.
Yeah. I'm in a spot where I had not done showings for a very long time.
Okay.
Right now I'm down and able and willing. So like we have everything really set up with our company. We've like my team is thriving. So I'm happy to go do showings, but it's based on my availability. It's not based on my desire.
Now,
Would I
sometimes do
prefer
you
to
still
do
do
it?
the negotiations though?
Sure.
Or do you trust your
Oh, I
team?
trust my team, but I will jump in. I'm happy to. There's a shit ton of agents that I know. So if I see it's an agent I know, I go, oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna call them.
Okay.
Because anytime I can start a call with "What's up? How you doing?"
Just how you do it.
Right, but like you want to start with that type of relationship because it makes it a lot easier, and then you're also able to say, "All right, what do you guys need? Like, let's figure out how to make this thing work."
Yeah.
And that's when you have the relationship and they know you. It's really great. And if you don't have that relationship, it's about building the relationship. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, but people just they don't even call.
I know.
Yeah.
They don't email, they don't
Yep.
text, they don't
Yep.
respond. They
It's
just
so
submit a shit
wild.
offer and you're like, well, that's not surprising. It didn't work out for you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
There's nothing
People
worse.
don't like to pick up the phone.
I know. And there's nothing worse. You can't be that kind of person in real estate transactions. We move so quick. We're on 30-day contract lines. Like, it drives me nuts when people do
People
not
don't
pick up the phone.
Smile and dial, bitch.
Yeah,
Smile and dial,
here's the
bitch.
thing. You absolutely can do that. You can never pick up the phone and still be successful within this industry. People have proven that. But are they going to be
Yeah.
able to prove that in the long term with the NAR settlement, with all these changes within the market?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that they are. I think that a big piece of that, like, if you want more business today, like if you wanted to close somebody tomorrow, you want to meet someone right now and then get a paycheck tomorrow. That's not possible in real estate.
Right.
So you actually have to like answer the phone, plant the seeds, build an effective database, do all these things, but you have to do it in a way that actually makes sense for you. So for us, our company puts on, like, we have a golf tournament. So we were able to
I was
reach out.
just gonna get to
Let's
it.
go.
Let's go.
But we're doing the golf tournament. So we pay
Yeah.
for all of that so that all of our guys have an authentic reason for people to reach out like to their clients to invite them to a golf tournament.
Yeah.
We did a day at the Denver Botanic Gardens, the Denver Zoo.
Saw
We've got
that.
an ice skating thing coming up. We do photos. But we pay for it all because you always want to have an authentic reason to reach out to clients. But if you're picking up your phone, calling, texting, emailing, sending an evite, whatever, it works.
Yeah.
And right now, the best advice for any agent is that I can't guarantee you a closing tomorrow, but I can guarantee that your fourth quarter is going to be substantially better than other people's, and that your first quarter of 2025 is going to blow up if you follow certain steps, if you do certain things. But not answering the phone is probably not your best bet. Like I got a random call from somebody the other day, and they're like, "Hey, can you list my house?" And I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And it turns out that it was a referral, but I just didn't know. I thought it was spam up front, but like I answered the phone because it didn't say potential spam. And
I always
we all
answer
know.
unknown numbers.
You
She
do.
never does. But
I've given up on that
always
shit.
do.
I don't want to do that all the time. But like when I see a number that it doesn't have any markings on it, I
right.
answer, but I got a listing from that. And it was just by answering the phone. Had I have not answered or not called them back, if they didn't leave a message, I don't know if I would have gotten that. Does business really fall from the sky? No. It maybe a couple times a year if you do this a lot, but like it doesn't really. But if you're not answering the phone, it makes it a lot harder.
And there's a lot of agents out there. And there's a lot of agents that grind and that don't grind. So the ones that you grind against, you got to pick up your fucking
Well, that's
phone.
the thing. Anyone can be successful if they find the right method for them, if they grind, and if they have the right coaching and support.
Facts.
Do you have a full tourney tomorrow? Is it all
Yeah,
the,
let's
all
talk about the
bus
tournament. Like, do
Yeah.
you see that we're dressed and we're going to practice after this? So
Let's
we're not
fucking go.
complete losers tomorrow.
practice?
I am. Yes, we have a full tourney. I'm
Good.
just still terrified of this golf tournament every year.
Why?
It's a lot of work.
We're excited.
It's fun. Our claim to fame is that someone managed to back up a golf cart into a sand trap.
Oh,
which
that's
is
okay.
which is actually
happens.
pretty goddamn impressive because most of it was like at a nice course with the things that should have stopped it.
Get stuck in there.
People seem to like to drink at these events, and somehow our sponsors and everyone who shows up does a really great job of making sure that people that want to are able to. And so by the end,
Those are the best golf tourneys.
we heavily encourage Uber. I just want to say right now, we
how are we
prefer
getting there?
designated drivers.
Okay.
Otherwise, I guess do drugs and drive yourself home if you
mean,
can.
there
I'm
is
just
Adderall.
joking.
I
No, but
love
like-
you.
No, but like that, it's supposed to be fun, and that's
Right.
the whole thing. And that's, I mean,
Do you have whole hecklers?
of course we have the whole.
those are
Oh,
the
dude,
best.
we're ready.
I know, I'm excited.
Why did you wait till the end of September? Because it's going to be like 52 when you guys start. So I'm going to have to bring 2 different outfits, like a warm outfit, and then I'm going to have to
So-
strip it down and have my cute outfit on. I mean, I'm
I don't know that you want to say you're going to strip it down, but like you do you.
I did want to say that.
Okay, then you know what? I digress.
Exactly what I wanted to say.
Well,
Get in that bathroom
What's
on
up?
whole 9. You know?
that feels even dirtier. Because when we started this, it was my birthday thing, and my birthday's the 20th,
Oh, okay.
and we ended up just kind of doing it on the 19th this year.
Well, we could.
Normally
It's going
we'll
to
do
get
it
up to
earlier.
82, 83 tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely great.
Yeah.
It just we'll
starts cold. I have to bitch
But-
about something.
We have a sponsored Bloody Mary bar to start. So,
Love it.
like, for those people that are cold, you can drink a
Suck
cold
it
drink
down.
that'll
You got
warm
some
you up.
burritos too.
Of course, I have food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, you guys are on
phenomenal.
it, and then we got like our email reminder yesterday when everything starts, and
Yep.
what we could do. You have to download an app
I
to
already
keep
did
track
that.
of our own score.
Yeah,
did.
I'm so sorry. What a monster I am for trying to make it fair. There's not a scramble that anyone has been to where people weren't cheating.
Oh
Ever.
my
So,
god!
like,
And are
but
you
we're
doing
trying.
the string shit? Like where you could buy string and you could like cut your putt in half. I hate that. Dude.
I'm so glad you asked.
Okay.
I have no fucking clue.
I hope not. Because we actually did it so good last year. And then somebody's like, we shot a 43. And I was like, well, fuck off. Like, we were honest.
They probably didn't, but I root for the cheaters. This is great. Listen, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
But what does it go to? Honestly, what I mean, it's all
LLS.
good for it.
I think
Yeah.
honesty lies within holes like 1 through 5, and then slowly after that, people start forgetting
You should go get
actually
some
how many
fireball
balls.
shots.
Oh, I've got it all packed up in my car.
Yeah,
It's
and here's the thing: you don't need them, but I support it. And normally, like, and I've done this for the last few years, I'll end up buying everybody a drink or two. So it's not. I would like to not be obliterated tomorrow.
Same.
We'll see how it plays out.
We'll see how that
We have
goes for you.
we're going to the Usher concert tonight, straight to a golf tournament tomorrow.
Let's
so
go,
it could
Usher.
be just like a straight
Usher,
night
baby.
into
For
day
sure.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think that's very respectable. My issue is that I think this year I'm going to try and golf in this. Normally I'm the one who drives
ask.
around, but
Yeah.
the biggest thing with driving around is everyone, like, we have a great culture. We have a lot of really fun
gonna be
people.
fun.
And people are always like, well, take a drink with me. And I say no for a while, but once I have the first one, it just tastes so good. That,
Peer
like,
pressure.
you fall
is
into
rough.
it, and then suddenly you had 17 shots, and like you don't know where you are.
Right.
I'm
just
sure you're
trying
trying
to
to be
make a
like
speech at the end.
speaking though after, so maybe like just really try your hardest, or take an Adderall or something.
No, it's worked out every year.
You got
It's
this.
always great. I'm
We
a
have such
good drunk
good
speaker.
team too, because we have 2 girls, 2 guys, so we'll be hitting from ladies' tees.
Let's
and
fucking go.
We bomb our drives, and then they can
I've
hold us
seen it.
down on the short game.
I've seen
it's
it.
so much better. I'm so much better. I thought
Let's
it was
go.
bad. Let's go. But what is that? What is LLS for? What are the
Leukemia
pros?
Lymphoma Society.
Why'd you choose that?
Because first off, it's a gigantic organization, and every dollar that goes to them is actually spent well.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part with charities is like when you have smaller charities, it's not always the most effective, but this one directly goes to cancer research, and like there's so many people that are affected by it that it was a really big thing for us to be able to do. And so next year we'll do a different charity, but we're also doing, our quarterly, we do a volunteer day, a guide for good. So we'll go out and like volunteer and do shit. You can't really do that for LLS, not as much, but you can for like Habitat for Humanity, all this other stuff.
Right.
So this one is just a straight donation that makes a huge difference.
What's your goal you're trying to raise?
I don't know. We'll get 50 to 100 at minimum in all likelihood. We do every year.
Oh,
Just from the golf tournament?
Mm-hmm.
that's dope.
Bro. Okay.
Then they probably will have strings, because like all of those like
I mean, it
raffles,
helps.
Yeah.
There's $1 million
It's-
hole in one that I'm planning on. Never mind.
Wait, $1 million. You get $1 million
what?
if you get a hole in one.
Yeah, there's a hole in one that is $1 million one.
Is
Prize?
it a par 5?
No, it's a par 3.
No.
There's an insurance policy in place, which is why I stopped talking about how I'm going to win it.
Okay.
You buy one of those balls that like go toward the
Yeah, that's what it is. No,
Put
we'll
a
just,
magnet at the
listen,
bottom of the
I'm
hole.
the
Right.
I'm the one I think paying the witnesses. So like we'll just see how it plays out.
Okay.
But if I come home with $1 million, so
Who has the insurance policy?
Who has $1 million?
No, it's a. Is
who
it insurance?
hits a hole in one at a scramble?
It happens.
It doesn't.
It happens. I literally
They'll
hit a
set it
par
up.
3.
They'll set it up so fucked up on that hole. There's no way they're going to be like, you know what, dead center.
Pin placement is a thing.
We're going to put it where everything rolls down
Roll,
to the
then a
hole.
toilet bowl. I
Can't
call
see-
those the
can't
toilet
see
bowl
how the-
holes.
No, but like the insurance company will like find out if someone was like just in front of the line and like all that shit. So
Okay,
like,
so like they
it's
play
legit.
they play it legit. God. Okay.
Who's the insurance policy?
I don't
through?
fucking know, dude. I don't do it. No,
It's
ask
not
my-
yours, but I wonder if it's the golf courses.
No, we use Colorado Under Par. They help everybody set up all these like foundations, all these golf tournaments. They're fantastic. I'd recommend them to anybody, but like they help us connect with all the different people.
Oh, that makes sense.
Dope,
Okay.
dope.
Okay.
Well, we're coming low on time. Is there anything? Well, I have to ask. Shift happens. When does that take place, and can everybody go?
Yeah, I don't care. People can just reach out. It's Tuesday at 10. I think.
I want to go.
24th.
And it's every other week.
Yeah. I mean, so I stopped doing it for a little bit as the market was crazy. But
Don't do
it's
that. We need
back
help.
by popular demand.
Yeah.
I guess. No, it's for whoever wants to. That's my only in-person class that I require people to go in person.
Okay.
Everything else we try and teach and do through Zoom, but like that one, I want you to, if you're going to commit. And not to say that like, it's not because everything I'm saying is so fucking smart. It's because it is a mastermind. It is important to have energy. It is important to like, if people are like, hey, I've got this listing that can't sell, we talk through like, what are the strategies? What are things? But the goal there is that everyone can take something out of it. Classes can suck. You could take the same class 7 times, but if you get one takeaway, it's a win. And so the goal with this is that like, I want to get 5 to 10 takeaways for these guys and to make sure that they have stuff.
Stuff like you should do should be a CE. Like you should do CE classes. I know you won't, but I'm just saying you should.
No, I will. You hand me a mic or you tell me to talk. I will talk and I'll talk about whatever the hell you want to. But like, I don't want there to be obstacles to education in this industry where it already feels
Shouldn't
like there's
be,
enough.
But you are an educator, and that's what I do appreciate about you. I know that you're funny and whatever, but I really do appreciate that about you because I needed that. I needed to be educated today. I really did.
Dude, you call me, I will answer the phone.
I know.
Whenever.
I know.
And it's not the education. Like, here's the thing. Rates are going to drop. Has it been rolled out? Maybe later today. But
No, it'll come
I'll
out
check
in 2
it.
weeks.
I'll check
Oh,
my
it's
phone.
live.
Yeah. So, but
Oh,
rates
I
are going to drop. Things are going to happen. The market is going to adjust, and it's going to adjust very quickly today. So now we have to know how to be strategic, and that's it. Like, it's not, I want to tell you it's super smart. It's not. It's just know how to be strategic, know how to aim yourself effectively, know how to take advantage of the end of this year and how to set yourself up for next year. Because if you get rolling January 1st, if you take this next 3 months off, the fourth quarter is my favorite because everyone else is off.
Fucking
And
around.
so, like,
Everybody fucks around.
I get a crush.
Yeah.
But like January 1, if you start then, you're not going to have business as much business until March, April. Whereas if you start right now, your January is going to be fucking killer. And it's about being in front of people. And I hate to say it, but real estate is the right time, right place.
Yeah, it is.
You do that market video, you do that email, you just reach out to someone about a golf tournament.
Yeah.
And it reminds them of you right as they're talking about, oh shit, rates just dropped. Let's go buy. Like, so it's all right time, right place. So it's not as smart as it sounds. It's just about making sure just being strategic and aiming yourself so that you have a plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and with that said, we're fucking out of time. Do you want anybody to know anything else? What's next for you? Anything?
I'm gonna go to a dentist appointment.
Is it your dad?
No, he's retired.
I asked him that too.
He retired. My dad's out. No, I don't got shit.
I'm
if
sorry.
People want to reach out, they can reach out.
We didn't even get into anything. It's usually like from the ground up. We get into like family and shit. But people when people knew that you were coming today, when we posted yesterday, like I literally had specific fucking questions to ask you.
Well,
so,
that's awesome.
Sorry we didn't like talk about you being a ginger and your beautiful wife and your kids and shit.
They're the best.
You know,
but, hey, I really appreciate that people were interested to hear like anything I'm saying.
People are excited.
It's cool, but the goal here is just be better. Everyone should be better and fucking crush.
Do better.
Be better, guys.
Do better.
If anybody wants to get a hold of him, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, look up Bret with Guide Real Estate. You can reach him. He's pretty fucking dope. Go to The Shift Happens. I'm gonna start doing that. Lenders can go.
I don't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit about anything.
Music. God. That's beautiful.
James.
What a playoff.
James. I love you so much.
Ready?
Dun, 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 dun,
Are you ready for this? Are you gonna go in on it?
What are you fucking? I don't know. No, do your thing. I'm just gonna sit here and drink.
Did. What a good outro.
There were nights when the wind was so cold.
Okay, I'm
Dude,
done.
I
That's
just-
it. That's it.
All right,
I just
and
finished
we're
my
out.
vodka.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. This is From the Ground Up. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and check back next Monday for the next episode.